Delhi yesterday. Hi,
Yeah,
Dushan bhai. Good afternoon.
good afternoon, Jyoti ma'am.
Hello, sir. Very good afternoon to you.
Thank you. Look forward for an enriching session with our members today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
So, Jyoti, Dushan bhai is like
No,
our guiding mentor. All of us have all learned under him. He is our immediate chairperson for AAAFAI and the immediate past president for BCPA. So both Nirav and I, Tej is going to join us briefly, but all of us have trained under Dushan bhai
Oh, lovely.
and in different ways owe him our careers.
thank you, Jyoti ma'am. The entire fraternity is waiting for your good, insightful address and enrich ourselves accordingly. We'll wait for 2-3 minutes.
Sure, sure. My pleasure, sir.
Ishwin, good afternoon.
Hi, Dr. Neerav. Hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to everyone. We will wait. Thank you for joining us as we launch a new series. Please give us 2 minutes. People are joining in and we will start shortly. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone, to all the ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We look forward to having Ms. Jyoti speak to us on a very interesting topic. Another minute or so, and we shall start. Mr. Madhavan, you have raised your hand. In case you have anything to comment, can you please use the chat box? And ladies and gentlemen, the Q&A box will be open for any questions. We will be taking questions at the end of the session. Thank you. Dushan bhai, shall we start?
Yeah, let's start. Let's start, I think. Let's start.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome from Triple FAI to all of you. Thank you for taking the time out and joining us. We've had record registrations for a topic which is relatively unknown for our industry, but very, very vital and very, very important. Before we delve deep into it, may I please request our immediate past chairman, Shri Dushan Mulani ji, to give his opening remarks. Dushan bhai, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Chaitali. Thank you. Thanks to Chairman Mr. Amit Kamath, the IIFF team, IIFF President Mr. Tej Contractor, Dr. Neerav Thakkar is here, our secretary, Mr. Sudeep De, Mr. Nataraja, and everybody. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am, and it's been a big occasion for all of us to have you here in this webinar. And with your renowned fame across in this segment, we are looking up at a very insightful session from you. While we do our work day in and day out, what is more important that how we conduct ourselves, how we build an image for ourselves and our organizations. How do we develop those communication habits with our internally, externally, and not only with our customers, but with our peers, with our co-workers, the partners, everybody. That's very important because at end of it, curating this sincerity, curating this by way of transparent and straightforward communications, it creates trust, it creates transparency, and it creates long-term business relationship, which emanates from trust. Nothing comes from authority, but it comes with trust and sincerity in working, and how to develop that image for the organization and ourselves. We look forward for this. All friends who have joined won't take much of a time because these soft skills are very crucial. And Triple FA, we are fortunate that Chaitali, the effort that you've undertaken to curate this program is wonderful. I thank you on behalf of the Triple FA, and let's take this ahead. Thank you to the women's wing also of Triple FA for having taken this part of soft skill ahead for our organizations. Thank you, and over to all of you. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am, once again.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dushinbhai, for your kind words. It's always your encouragement which makes a difference. And thank you to the audience for being here with us. Today, we launch our new mini series, which is on image. It is actually very personal. So before I introduce our speaker, it's just a couple of things is that we all are faces of our companies, and we all at some point or the other have been judged, either when we get into the industry or when we are there, or we have judged somebody. It becomes very important to be well groomed, and it also becomes very important to be presentable. In my travels abroad, I have always realized that if there is an immediate connection, it happens is because somebody just accepts you the way you are, and that typically starts from the way you are groomed and the way you are dressed. And it could be the minutest of things, could be just the pair of shoes that you are wearing, or could be the bag that you're carrying, or the watch that is on your wrist. Could be multiple things, and it could be a single thing. I wasn't successful for a while overseas till I realized what was happening. And I realized that the image I was portraying, or the image that the opposite person was seeing about me, was not actually the kind of person that I was. But it was with preconceived notions, because I come from India. I was dressing in a certain manner, I was speaking in a certain manner, and I realized that I needed to change if I had to get adapted to how the Western world thinks and how the Western world operates. The minute I realized that and I started to change myself is the time when I became successful, and yeah, super successful. So that, and at that time, we didn't have the term image consultant, or we didn't have the term image or things like that. But it is due to people like Jyoti and the others who are teaching us, their fraternity, who are telling us how important it is, that just not for us, but also for our staff, because they are the faces of our companies when they are visiting. So it could be somebody as simple as a runner boy, but why they need to be well dressed, how you can retain your clients, how the first impression is important. All of that plays a very important role when we are pitching in for new business, especially when it is very delicate negotiation. communications. Having said that, I have the supreme honor and pleasure of introducing Ms. Jyoti Gupta. I feel extremely elated that she belongs to our women's wing, and we have such talented, wonderful people, women in our FAI women's wing, who, under the banner and auspices of FAI, are literally flying, and we get to be part of their journey. So thank you, Jyoti, for joining us. Miss Jyoti Gupta, she's a trainer, coach, motivational speaker, co-author, certified organizational development professional, certified soft skills trainer, certified POSH trainer, founder of Sculpt Your Style Consulting, training and coaching refinement. She's a former logistician and a client relations specialist with 13 years experience in client relationship management. Sculpt Your Style is a leadership presence and personal branding consultancy committed to transforming individuals into confident, authentic, and influential professionals. Founded by Jyoti, the platform bridges the gap between the inner potential and outward expression, empowering individuals to lead with clarity, communicate with confidence, and present themselves with purpose. Expertise includes executive presence and personal branding, leadership communication and public speaking, soft skills and behavioral skills development, customer service excellence, sales communication, and influence managerial and first-time leader training, senior leadership development, professional etiquette, and grooming. And Jyoti, the floor is yours. We look forward to hearing from you and learning from you. And a welcome to our president of IIFF, Mr. Tej Contractor. Hi, Tej. We are just going to start off with Jyoti's session.
Thanks, Chaitali. Sorry for coming in late. Please, floor is Miss Jyoti's.
Thank you. Jyoti, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chaitali, and thank you to all the distinguished personalities for having me here today. And my heartfelt thank you and gratitude to Triple F AI and Chaitali for giving me this platform today and connecting with you all and speaking with you all. And my heart belongs to this platform because I am from this industry and I've spent more than a decade working here. Interacting, negotiating, dealing with customers. So I actually feel the pulse. And it actually gave me a little bit of goosebumps when Chaitali just, gave an introduction about me. So thank you very much, Chaitali, for your kind words. Directly getting into the topic, I have made a small presentation specifically for today's topic, and I would be loving to share that with you all. And by the end of the session, I hope your takeaway would be you would definitely get into a little bit of introspection and self analysis of your own personality. So I can assure you that that you would get into a self-analysis role and try to understand that where are you shining, what are the qualities which are already shining in you, and what are the qualities which you would need to work on. So I would be sharing some small tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can immediately start working at on these aspects. So this is the presentation which I have made for today's session specifically. Image as influence, leverage presence for leadership impact. So I would want to start with a quick question. Probably you can share your thoughts in the chat box or even think about it for yourself. Like in our industry, in freight forwarding, how important is first impression in person or online when dealing with clients or with customers? What do you think about it? Like with the kind of experience all our distinguished guests have joined in. So what do you think that why this presence is important, especially when you're dealing with your customers, clients, stakeholders, international network? So I would want to think on that for a moment. And also, what do you think of a professional who leaves lasting impression in our industry? What makes them stand out? And if you had to be that professional, which quality of yours would you want to work on and leave a lasting impression with the people with whom you are dealing? So these are the two questions I would want you to think about, and probably you can leave your comments in the chat box as well, which we can look at later. So moving ahead, so the next 45 to 50 minutes, we will be speaking on how to align your verbal, visual, and virtual presence for a stronger impact. Communicate with habits that build instant credibility and trust. How to use body language, voice, and energy to project confidence. Strategies to create an authentic leadership image that inspires others, and I will be giving you quick wins to enhance your executive presence both online and offline. So something which you can try implementing right away and see the difference, how it is making a difference to your overall communication style, to your personality. So that is your takeaway from today's session, because when you have been spending 45-50 minutes, so uh, this is something which you can quickly learn and implement. The objective of today's session is to help professionals understand how to align their verbal, visual, and virtual presence to build credibility, trust, and authentic leadership impact. So, when we are talking about building trust and credibility, we all are either working for our own brand or probably representing a particular brand for which you're working. So, when you are going out there, reaching out to your potential customers, reaching out to your stakeholders, interacting with international network, you are the face of the organization. So the brand image or the impression what you're leaving on the other party is not just an impression about you as a professional, but it is the impression of the brand which you are representing. So in short, we on us carry a huge responsibility on our shoulders, that we are not just representing ourselves as a professional but also representing the brand for which we are working. And you all must have heard the saying that first impression is the last impression, but I would want to add that you get only 2% of a chance to make a second impression. So if you're meeting someone, that is your own, for the first time at least, that is your only opportunity to make an impression on themselves, because the next time probably you might not get the opportunity to make the impression, because the first impression which you have already made is going to stay on the person's mind, and it is only 2% of the time where you might get an opportunity to change that perception or impression about that. And this impression which happens, uh, it takes only 7 to 10 seconds to form that impression. So it is a matter of seconds, and over here you have not even spoken, you have not even spoken. Before that, just by looking at you, your impression has already been formed. So now with this, I hope you understand the importance of your image in front of people with whom you are interacting, or probably representing your brand or representing yourself as a professional. So that is the power, that is the impact which you are making on others when you are interacting with them. So today, this is our little effort to help you understand why this image is important, so very important in our industry, and how you can work on it to improvise. Though we have years of experience, but everywhere we need that little upgradation, a little bit of relearning and upskilling and reskilling yourself at different point of time or at different levels. So that is the idea today, and the idea of launching this mini series, where we can help you with certain techniques and strategies which will help you level up your image or your influence as far as interacting with people is concerned. So I hope that sounds interesting and exciting. And I've set the tone of the agenda for today. So moving ahead. So my question to you is, what comes to your mind when you think of a leader with a strong presence. So we all might have had followers or some role model whom we look up to, whom we would want to follow. So what quality of that particular person has attracted you or motivated you? A leader is a person whose presence influenced people even before they speak. So there are people with this magnetic aura. There are people who have this powerful image with them that their just presence in the room changes the atmosphere. So, if you think of any such leader, who would be that leader for you? And what quality of that leader or what quality of that leader footsteps would you want to follow when it comes to inculcate those values in you? That next, when you stand into a room, you are changing the uh, changing the vibe of the room just with your presence. So that is what the impact of image should be. Leadership presence isn't about titles or powers. It is about the energy you communicate consciously or not. So, as Dushyant sir just said, that it is not about position or titles, but it is about the energy you communicate consciously or unconsciously. So, we at in our daily lives, we are doing our work. We are following the protocols. We are following the procedures, we are following the KPIs, we are achieving the targets. So that is the work which we are doing. But in the same time, are we consciously making an effort to make a difference to someone's life? Are we bringing about that change in the industry, or trying to mentor or role model people who are working with us or who are subordinate to us? Are we touching their lives differently, where they are making the most of working under your leadership? So we as leaders should not be creating followers, but we as leaders should be creating more leaders. So that is where you have to work on your image, where people are getting influenced. Your vibe should be so contagious that people automatically get attracted to you, influenced to you, and your words are uh, considered so powerful that they make an impact on the person, and you touch someone's life and change someone's life at some level, professionally, or for that matter even personally. So that is what the aura of a leader is, and that is where we would want to work on our image, where we do not just achieve our business targets, but also make a difference to someone's life and help them grow professionally. That is what a true leader, or someone whose presence might influence people across. So I would want to think about a leader who has influenced you or touched your life in some or the other way, and if you had to be that leader, what quality of yours would want to enhance to reach at that position? So I leave you with that thought on this slide. We would definitely want to hear from you. Coming to the three dimensions of presence, that is your verbal presence, your visual presence, and your virtual presence. So your goal here, I would want you to think that where do you shine? What are the qualities which you feel are so perfect in you, and you're absolutely pro at doing it? And where would you want to grow? Which quality of yours would you want to enhance in you, or probably work on yourself? So verbal presence is nothing but how you speak, structure, and share your message. The uh, the words, the choice of words especially, are you able to how are you able to replace negative terms with a positive words? That is how your structure or the message should be: clarity, brevity, and confidence. Speak with clarity. Brevity means where you are able to simplify your ideas in short phrases or sentences. And confidence, of course, speaking with confidence. The power pause, using silence strategically. Now, power pause is something which helps even top speakers to align their thoughts and speak. This is where you can use this particular technique of of pausing strategically while speaking. Many a times there are hundreds of thoughts in your mind, but you are not able to uh, articulate that in words. And when you're not able to articulate that in words, that is when you use a lot of fillers while speaking. And the fillers could be verbal filler or a non-verbal filler, right? Verbal fillers like you know, I know, right, maybe. And non-verbal fillers like are the sounds like uh. So these are the fillers which you use unconsciously. Why? Because your thoughts are not aligned with your articulation. And this is where exactly your power pause or pausing strategically helps you. So consciously pause for 1 or 2 seconds before framing your next sentence. And the next technique is posing questions to your audiences. So when you think that you are short of words, and when you think that probably you are not able to articulate your next thought, pose a question to the other person. So obviously when you pose a question to the person, somebody from the audience is going to answer, and that is your time to utilize it and think your next thought and go ahead articulating it. So power pause is definitely a very good strategy to align your thoughts, articulate your sentences, and questioning and interacting with your audiences. That is where exactly avoiding filler words and self-diminishing phrases, or probably the negative phrases, as you can say, which come into picture. So you can replace them with positive ones. And that is where you get the time to think when you pause strategically, ask questions to your audiences. Visual presence, how you look and move, communicates before words do. So this is where, as I said, that your first impression is made within first 7 to 10 seconds of you meeting anyone. Dressing for context and not for conformity. So this is a huge topic on which probably we can have one session on specifically how you have to dress as per the occasion and your position. But dressing definitely plays a very, very important role in your personality. And if you have not been paying attention to this particular detail of yours, it is my request that please start paying attention to your dressing. And if you're not very good at aligning your wardrobe, there are image consultants out there. You can take professional help, and according to your profession, they might help you out to align your wardrobe as per the occasion. So please work on your dressing, because the minutest things are noticed immediately. As Chaitali just said in the beginning of the session, that people, the first thing what people might notice about your details is your shoes, something which you might not even pay attention. But that is the minutest things people even notice: your shoes, your wristwatch, your attire, the way you're carrying yourself. Everything matters. So please work on this particular aspect of your personality, because this will speak first than you actually speaking. Body alignment, shoulders open, ground stance. So whenever you are you're probably heading a meeting or you're entering a meeting room, see to it that your shoulders are relaxed, open, and your body posture is straight. Because your body posture and your movements bring that confidence in your voice. So if you're a little slouching, not very aligned with what you're going to speak, so that might immediately reflect in your voice. Hence, having a open shoulders and ground stance immediately reflects in the confidence and the way you're speaking. So work on your body language, because that is how your confidence is projected. Eye contact and facial expression congruence. So even if words might not talk, but your facial expressions do the job. So even if you're not able to hide your expressions or emotions, people can actually read what is going on in your mind through your facial expressions. Now, eye contact, I would want to give you a very simple strategy or technique to maintain an eye contact, especially when you are speaking to an audiences or in a meeting, which is called the Z technique of eye contact. Now, when you are facing an audiences, what you can do is you can look at the last person at the left hand side of your shoulder, sitting at the left hand side of your shoulder in the last corner. Then you move your eyesight to the right, to the person who is sitting on the right hand side of the corner of the room. Then you come to the first person who is sitting on the left hand side of the corner of the room, and then you move your gaze to the first person who is sitting on the right hand side of the room. So that is a Z alphabet which is formed. And if you follow this particular technique of eye contact, you are able to make an contact with each and every person who is sitting in the room. And make an eye contact only for 2 seconds and move to the next person. And while you're speaking to someone, make an eye contact maximum for 9 seconds and then look away. And then come back 9 seconds and look away. So in this way, you are able to maintain an subtle eye contact with people without making them feel cautious or without overlooking them. This is the technique or the strategy, especially in visual presence, as far as your eye contact and facial expression is concerned. And smile is obviously contagious, and this is something which we want to be contagious, that the more you smile, the more warmth and authenticity you bring in yourself. So please have that authentic smile on yourself, because that is going to ease the other person talking to you, and maintain the eye contact. So these are the two very crucial techniques when it comes to your visual presence and how you communicate. And one more thing, I would want to give you one more technique where you're speaking to an audiences. Always try and utilize the stage space or the podium which you are using. Move to the left, move to the right a bit, and then come back to the center. I would suggest that please watch TED Talks or talks from the motivational speakers uh, or some great leaders, and just observe their body language, how they are moving around and utilizing the stage to connect with the audiences. This is how you are going to enhance your visual presence. And obviously, some small strategies I've shared with you all, which you can implement immediately. Virtual presence, how you would show up online in today's hybrid world. So all thanks to COVID, which has come as a blessing in disguise to all of us, where the virtual setup has been the way of life. And when we are working today in a hybrid mode, your virtual presence also makes a very plays a very vital role as far as your communication and presence is concerned. And one mistake what professionals do is, even while working from home, you get into the casual mode, and once you are in a casual and relaxed mode, that immediately reflects in your body language and your voice. So one thing, even if you're working from a virtual setup from the comfort of your house, see to it that you work as if you're dressed as if you're going to office and working. Because if you dress the same way as you would have gone to office and work, even if you are in a virtual setup, that immediately enhances your body language and your communication. If you are in a relaxed mode, sitting relaxed, that would reflect in your body language, and that would immediately affect your voice, which is again not acceptable, especially when you are having meetings in a virtual setup. Hence, the one tip for you would be, dress the same way as you would go to office, even if in a virtual setup or from a work from home atmosphere, because that brings in the confidence, that brings in the alertness in you, and which would reflect in your voice as well. The second thing is framing, lighting, and tone consistency on camera. So use a place which with a lot of natural light as far as the setting is concerned, and always look into the camera while speaking. Online etiquette is also known as netiquette, which is extremely crucial when you are interacting online with for your important meetings and with clients and stakeholders, because that is also where you are making an impression on people. Aligning your digital image with your real world brand. So as you would present yourself in a real world, please align your digital image also in the same way, where you are representing yourself or your brand in a virtual mode. So think about it. And if I have to ask you, like on a scale of 1 to 5, uh, on each dimension, where would you shine and where would you want to grow? So that is my question for you on this particular slide. As far as your verbal, visual, and virtual presence is concerned, which aspect do you think you are already shining, and which aspect do you think is where you would want to grow? So I that is the question for you. Please think about it and let us know. Communication habits that build instant credibility. So communication is an habit. It is something which is not going to happen by attending one webinar or probably attending a session on how on grooming and etiquettes, but it is an habit which you have to eventually inculcate in ourselves. And I would want you from today probably get into the practice or habit of at least removing 15 to 20 minutes on for yourself, where you would want to work on one communication habit of yours and start doing some exercise on it. So credibility starts with how heard others feel. So communication is definitely not about talking, but communication is about listening, and most of the time we listen to reply rather than listening to understand. That is where we make other person feel unheard. But listen first, speak second. That is when you will be able to understand with empathy, and probably reply with more understanding, especially when it comes to client escalations, giving a bad news, delays, damage, loss, everything when comes into picture. That is how where your credibility starts, of how you make the other person feel when you are communicating. Now, the micro habits which you can probably inculcate in your communication style is speak in headlines before details. So, probably you can first speak about what is most important or what is most urgent rather than getting into the details. So, this would give an idea to the other person that what exactly are you going to talk about. Repeat key messages for clarity. Like probably you can repeat your key messages, or probably even take a confirmation from the person with whom you are speaking to understand whether you are aligned and you both are on the same page. Replace I think and I believe with in my experience. So as I said, if you replace negative sentences or negative phrases with positive ones, it might change the tone of your communication, and even for that matter the impact of the information what you are giving to the other person. So please work on this. This will take some time, but definitely you will be able to enhance your communication with this particular habit of yours. Now, the 378-55 rule, which is also known as the Mehrabian rule of communication: 7% percent words, 38% voice, and 55% body language. So, your non-verbal communication plays a very, very important role when it comes in leaving an impact or impression on people. So, and 38% of your voice, the tone in which you're speaking plays a very important role. And it is 7% of the words or what you're using, but how you are saying and how is your body language while saying that, plays an important role. So please pay attention to these minute details, which makes a very big difference. Try working on it and see how it is bringing about a change in your communication style. Intent based communication: what do you want your listeners to feel, think, or do? So always keep your listener in mind uh, while speaking, rather than speaking from your end. Always put yourself in the other person's shoes and see how would you feel when you are at the receiving end. So if you speak from with that intent, you will always communicate better. So this is your takeaway on communication habits that build instant credibility. And if you inculcate these small changes in your daily communication, you can make a huge difference and touch each and every person's life with whom you're interacting. They would feel more heard and would trust you more for your communication and the information what you're giving to them. Body language, voice, and energy. Power posture, or as you say, that is the power pose when it comes to body language is concerned. Open stance is equal to confident stance. So as I just said, stand straight, roll your shoulders back, and keep your feet grounded. With confidence, so that will immediately reflect in your overall body language and reflect in your voice also. Gestures, purposeful, not repetitive. So as we said that your non-verbal communication plays a very important role, so use gestures only when required and not repetitive. Mirroring subtly builds connection. So when you're speaking to someone, try to mirror their body language, because when you mirror the other person's body language, it gives them an instant feeling of ease. So if you want to make someone comfortable in your presence, try to mirror their body language, which will help you build a connection, especially when you're meeting your potential clients or potential customers. This body language, working on your body language will help you make a more powerful impact on the other person, and probably you would leave on a very positive note. Voice, how you work on your voice. The three C's: clarity, control, and cadence. That is the pitch of your voice. Project confidence by lowering pitch slightly and in a slow pace. Use upward inflection only when asking questions and not stating facts. So probably you can raise your pitch or raise your voice only when you have to ask questions, but not when you are giving information, or not when you are dealing with stats or numbers. Energy, your emotional state is contagious. So please understand that whenever you are communicating with people, your emotional state matters a lot and it is contagious. So when you're talking to people, be very mindful of what emotional state you are. Probably avoid communication when you are very overwhelmed or not in the best frame of mind. And even if you have to, then probably you have to use your emotional intelligence so that your emotional state is not immediately affecting the other person. Center yourself before meetings or presentations. So that is a quick breathing or grounding exercise what you can do. Have 3 or 4 deep breaths before you're getting into a meeting room or getting into a very important conversation, which will help you center your thoughts and regain your confidence. Energy management is equal to leadership stigma. So the way you manage your energy talks about a lot of you as a leader. So your energy has to be contagious. So please have this breathing exercises, calming your mind, or probably working working on how you are going to present yourself. Maybe 1 or 2 practice sessions will help you manage your energy in a better way. So don't directly walk into an important meeting or a presentation unprepared. Do some little groundwork before getting there, which will help you manage your overall image, influence, and body language in a better way. So this is something which I would want to, some strategies which I would want you to work on as far as your body language, voice, and energy is concerned. Building an authentic leadership image. So it's not about it's about alignment, who you are, what you stand for, and how you show up. So image is probably, building an authentic image is all about who you are, what you stand for, and how you show up. So basically it is about your values, about your professionalism, about how you present yourself, especially in stressed situations, or where situations test your patience. So that is uh, where your leadership talks a lot about you. An authentic image is a visible reflection of your invisible values. So be as authentic as possible, and because that is the visible reflection of your invisible values. You might definitely have a mentor or a role model whom you
Sorry
can.
to interrupt you, Jyoti, but you are lagging a little.
Okay.
You just lag for like half a second or so, but it has happened twice. I just wanted to draw your attention. Sorry to interrupt you.
Lagging means, is my voice breaking?
No, your screen freezes for like less than half a second.
Oh, okay, okay. So probably I think it could be a network glitch. Okay, I'll just take care of that. Thank you for highlighting it, Chaitali.
Yeah, right now you froze for almost close to a second.
Okay, okay. Sure, I will take care of that.
Yeah, it's just again it happened. So I just wanted to draw your attention to it. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no. Thank you for highlighting it. Probably, I think it is a network error which is
Yes.
being.
Could be from my end also. If anybody else is feeling that your screen where Jyoti is speaking is lagging, can you please mention it in the chat box? Thank you.
So an authentic image is a visible reflection of your invisible values. You can definitely have a mentor or a role model on whom you can follow, but there should be certain values which you inculcate in yourself, and you stand up on those values with authenticity. So the formula for an authentic leadership, to create an authentic leadership image, is self awareness, being aware of your values, being aware of these of what you want to follow as a professional, aligning it, and then staying up to it consistently. So this is a self reflection slide for you, where I would want you to think on what are the values which you have in you as a leader, and where would you want to work on, where people are able to align with you, they are more happy and comfortable working with you, and they definitely look up to you as a leader and come to you when they need that guidance or support. Why it matters? Because authentic leaders inspire faster. So when you are inspiring people, you are eventually, making them more productive. They Where they are bringing not just themselves to work, but they are bringing their spirit also to work. So that is where your leadership plays a very important role. They connect emotionally, not just intellectually. This is where your trust, building trust, comes into picture, especially with your subordinates, with your peers, with your management. How are you able to connect with them, not just intellectually, but at an emotional level also? Because there will be so many situations where things might escalate, things might get overwhelming, and your leadership uh, decisiveness would be at stake. So how you connect emotionally with people is going to definitely help you navigate those complex or difficult situations. Their presence feel rehearsed and real and not rehearsed. So when you are an authentic leader, your presence will feel real and not as rehearsed, not as someone else, but you, your authentic self. So this is a self-reflection slide for you where I would want you to think on your values as a leader, what values you already have, and where would you want to work to build that authentic leadership image. So these are the quick wins for you to enhance your executive presence. Speak with confidence, speak with purpose and not just confidence. So only confidence while speaking is not going to help you, but you should definitely figure out what purpose you have. Why are you speaking to people? So if your purpose is aligned, the confidence is automatically going to come in you. Smile genuinely. Warmth builds trust faster than authority alone. Prepare 3 signature phrases or stories that express your leadership value. So I would want you to reflect on 3 signature phrases or probably stories which you are in which you are able to express your leadership value, what it could be. Review your LinkedIn profile and digital footprint monthly. Extremely essential for a professional like us, where we are known through our social media handles, where a lot of people globally connect with us through our social media handles. Even before meeting you in person, they meet you on social media. So your digital footprint plays a very important role as far as your image is concerned. So keep it updated, review it monthly to if any additions or changes are required. Record yourself while speaking, review tone, clarity, and energy. So I'm sure many of us must have never done this exercise where you have recorded yourself and reviewed the recording. If not, I would want you to try this exercise today, and trust me, you will be surprised at the result. You will be surprised listening to your own voice and to your own self after seeing in the screen. So try this exercise. It is a very good reflection exercise to work on your clarity, on your energy, and how you look while you speak. Manage your energy, not just image. Center yourself before key meetings. 3 deep breaths, roll shoulder back. Your energy speaks louder than your words. Walk in calm, grounded, and present. Authentic, authenticity over perfection. Don't look over polished in your communication. Sincerity is magic. So it is not about being overly polished, but it is about sincerity, how you are able to connect with people. That matters a lot. Share lessons, not just achievements. So it is very good to highlight our achievements, but how did you reach to that to achieving that achievement? That story also matters. So share those struggle stories. Trust me, it will inspire people more than your achievement. People trust leaders who are real and not rehearsed. So this is where your leadership or your image plays a very important role as far as your trust is concerned. So I'm playing a short video on executive presence. It has some stats. It is very interesting. Please have a look at it.
Now it's interesting. Executive presence is a really important one for influence. And the thing I see around executive presence is it's not presentation skills. It's much more about how you present yourself in all your communications you have. Do you come across as confident, assertive, decisive? Are you to the point? Are you clear in your communication? So it's important to recognize how you're presenting yourself with an executive presence, because you get to a point where you advance in your career, and at some point you're going to be sitting at the table with other senior executives, and you want to belong, and you want to feel you deserve to be in that room. And so having an executive presence is an important piece. And you actually can have more control over your executive presence than you realize. Some people naturally have it. But I've seen it over and over again with my clients, my coaching clients, that it's actually something that can be built, developed, grown. You know, you come into a meeting with lots of senior executives and you're not as prepared and you're not as crisp. And some of the sentences you're using, you're a little bit like at the end of the sentence, your voice drops. And then you start to realize, okay, there's things we can change here. We can be really prepared so that we're confident, we're clear, we're crisp in what we're saying and how we're saying it. And we're decisive in how we're coming across. We're not wishy-washy. Even if internally you're totally doubting yourself. So thinking about this one, again, 1 to 10, how well do we do this in the organization? In what ways can you enhance your executive presence? In what ways might you be diminishing your executive presence? I'm amazed how often people are requesting this now in the last 3 years. I've seen it dramatically shift in organizations, companies, individuals are asking more for executive presence. There's a survey done with 400 CEOs, and they said 89% of individuals inside companies, if they want to get to the next level, they have to have executive presence. So it's a vital trait to really work on.
So that was some stats for you that why executive presence is important. And 89% of CEOs and directors, out of 400 CEOs and directors, the survey which was conducted, 89, they feel that 89% of the time executive presence is required if you have to climb up in the organization. So that is how important executive presence is, and why it is being demanded by more and more organizations to upskill their workforce. Presence is not what you say; it is what people feel when you say. So presence, your presence is not about what you're saying, but it is all about how you say it and how the other person is feeling when you are saying it. So this is a reflection or a thought I would want you to think on, like when you are speaking, what impression or impact are you making on the other person, and how the other person is feeling in your presence. So that is all your image is all about. These are some self, as we just come to the end of my talk today, I have figured out four self reflection books which will help you focus on enhancing self image, self esteem, and leadership presence. So probably you can take a screenshot or a picture of this particular slide. The fourth one is very interesting, relaxation for positive self image. It is an audio book, a very good option for leaders who prefer listening while commute or travel. So you, of course, there are a lot of material available in the market, but I've just tried and picked up a few which you can probably look online and work on it. Very, very simple and basic very good to start with. So this is something for you to work, which will help you to work on your image, a small reflection exercise which probably you can implement from these books and which will help you work on your image immediately. So that is all from me. Thank you very much for your time and presence. I hope I have been able to make some difference to you today. And these are my contact details. You can definitely reach out to me, and I will be glad. And it would be my absolute pleasure if I could help you out in any way. So please do reach out to me, or you can reach out to Chaitali, and we would definitely want to come up with more and more sessions which are helpful for you all to work on your image, on your personality, and your overall communication style. So definitely, please let us know any specific topics which you would want us to come up with, and me and Chaitali would definitely work out on sessions and would come and present it to you all, which will be beneficial in some or the other way. So that is all from me. Thank you very much, Chaitali. Over to you.
It's been absolutely fantastic, Jyoti. Very relatable and just so much of practical tips. I don't want to make it about me, but a lot of what you have said is what, Harish Bhai keeps telling me when you were talking, and I was like, oh, this he's already told me, but it just makes so much of sense. And it's very doable, it's very practical, and it's just the right way of doing things. So I hope that our audience will be able to at least would have taken some giveaways because there are so many of them over here. I'm not going to speak much. I'm going to let Nirav do the closing part of it. So Nirav and Jyoti, people are asking for the presentation. So will you be able to share the presentation with us?
Yes, definitely. I will share the presentation with
Okay. All right. Thank you. But it's been an amazing session. Really worth it. Worth the wait. Nirav, over to you.
Hi, thanks a lot. It indeed was a great session, and the way you've explained things, it's just it's like a simple point to be understood, but something where we all have to be very careful because this multifolds, what we expect to do in terms of when organizations want to, extend their marketing and sales, but then these are very simple things. In a very beautiful way you have explained how this impact gives, how this can be good, gives you that impact. Like, I believe it's like a silent ambassador, the way you've explained, where building that image, the way you said that the person has an aura, and when the person is there, it changes the environment. In the same way, that person holding some kind of a very prominent position and the image of the company which reflects that person's aura, that person's personality, will really bring about a lot of changes in the way people perceive that company. I think, and the videos and the examples that you have shared, I think it has really helped. And I think these slides are beautiful. I mean, the way you've, you know, I mean, with those visuals really aid what you are trying to speak, and it gave a very wonderful the view of the entire session. As Chetali said, we are doing a short session, but it was really impactful, I would say. That, and thank you. Really, it was a great session, and we look to engage with you a lot more on these sessions.
lovely.
And I'm really thankful to Chaitali because these kind of initiatives that you have been taking, this is really helping our entire fraternity, the entire federation, and we all look forward to have many more such sessions. So great initiative by the Women's Wing, and I thank our chairman, Mr. Amit Kamath, because under his leadership and all the office bearers and EC members, that we are bringing about these changes and the benefits for all our members. And thank you, the entire secretariat, for doing a wonderful job of organizing this and in the background working, seamlessly to ensure such sessions are done. We had a very good engagement of members, and let's look forward to any further questions from them. But it was really engaging. Thank you.
My pleasure. Pleasure.
Thank you, Nirav. It's genuinely, Jyoti, it's just so practical. And everything that you said makes so much of sense. And I could see like a flashback of what, when I started traveling or when I started interacting with people. I was very young when I started getting into all of this, and the growth that happens, the maturity that happens. And when you spoke about aura, when you spoke about the voice modulation, it just hits home, right? Uh, because we are on a webinar, a lot of people may not be able to say it, but I can confidently say for all of us who are present over here, and we have a wonderful participation. So we've had pretty good audience right now who stayed with us for the entire time. It's that it all of us at some point or the other have done something or said something or behaved in a particular manner in which you have highlighted in your presentation. You have a very lucid way. Your voice itself is so pleasing and calming to listen to. So it kind of just furthers the impact and lets people absorb. We've got some wonderful comments. I will be very happy. Nirav, do you want to read out the comments or should I?
You can. I just wanted to add one more thing,
Yes.
Chaitali. I just missed out. So while being a part of this session, as you rightly said, Chaitali, and I've just come back from attending a conference, and frankly, there were 2,000 people there, and everything what Miss Jyoti was mentioning, I could relate it because there were so many organizations, companies, so many people that you meet, and uh, you know, to differentiate how that impact which gives. I mean, with that influence or with that impact of an image, it really brings the certain organizations and the people who conduct them, whom we visit and see every year, once a year. But then you could really are able to connect with that. So I think what she mentioned at every sentence, I was able to relate to that because it was fresh in my mind. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
I
Thank
totally, I totally agree. I was last week in Colombia for a conference, one of the very few people not speaking Spanish. And this is something that I keep getting told again and again and again about my smile. And I keep telling people that I smile more. I travel more to figure out, that I can still smile as compared to staying in the office. But it makes a huge difference, Jyoti. And I could immediately recollect a bunch of people who have this amazing personality and they take the entire hall with them, the entire audience with them, and you can see they are like the moths to the flies because everybody is attracted to them. And thank you so much. There's just so much of wealth of information that you have shared today. I am so glad that we could do this, and I'm so happy and delighted that you're part of the women's wing. Really nice. So I'm going to read out the comments. Yes, Mr. Mitra, we are going to circulate the presentation copy to everyone. And we have one more message. Yes, Mr. Ravindra says it was a very good and refreshing learning experience. Mr. Manjunath says thank you, Miss Jyoti, and to the organizers. Mrs. Pereira, there was so much clarity in your voice, and at the space that you spoke was very well followed. Mr. Ramanand Jyoti is saying maybe a slide with do's and don'ts will help. And Mrs. Pereira, again, Jyoti, listening to you has been absolutely enriching. Brilliant and practical tips on how you carry yourself, pose questions to buy time for flow of words, about smile, utilize the space of stage. Mr. S. Balasubramaniam, thank you. You've been there for pretty much all the sessions. Really, really glad that you attend them and that you find them useful. He says it was very real and practical experience. We have many takeaways from these sessions. We'll look forward to your future sessions. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And of course, Mr. Nair says, can you please share the presentation? Mr. Preetham Gowde says, thank you, Ms. Jyoti. And I think we have very good feedback. And that's it. So with that, we come to an official end for this particular session, which was the launching of the mini series on image. And we look forward to seeing you all back again next month when we have the next part. We will have the chapter 2 of this particular mini series. And as a personal request, may I please ask all of you to spread about this particular mini series and your feedback to the others so we can have more participation last time. Jyoti, we have a lot of women from the women's wing here. So Poonam ji is saying, I especially like the Z factor for public speaking. Shikha says, thank you very much, Miss Jyoti. Mr. Jagdish says, thank you very much for such informative session, helping us develop ourselves. Mr. Satish Nair. Thank you, Ms. Thank you very much for such information. No, thank you, Ms. Jyoti and Triple FI for this wonderful session. Rita, I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you so much for holding these sessions, and I need to see you back again, Rita, next month also. Jyoti, I should say congratulations. You've got the most elusive person of the women's wing out into the world. That is Miss Rita Guha. So the fact that she's here and she's been here means a lot. So thank you very much. And with this, we officially say goodbye to all of you. We look forward to seeing you next month, not only for Jyoti's session, which we are obviously going to have, but for all the other programs that we are going to be. We have Rama's session. So we look forward to seeing all of you back again. And yeah, Rita says, thank you, Jyoti. It was really refreshing.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all your encouraging words. And it would definitely, give me a boost to come back much better the next time when I'm here. So you have, set the expectations there for me. And I would definitely give my best as much as I can and help you all out there and make a difference to your life.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our chairman, Shri Amit Kamath ji, our honorary secretary, Sudeep ji, and our office bearer in charge, Shri Sudhir Bhai. Unfortunately, Sudhir Bhai is traveling overseas, and Amit Bhau and Sudeep da were called to Delhi. So they have not been here. They pass on their regrets, but we will be sharing the video in some time. But meanwhile, Jyoti, if you can share the presentation closer to your next date, then it will be good because it will be refreshing for everyone. Rajshri is here, and Rajshri says, thank you so much for the insightful session throughout. And thank you. With this, we do the final adieu and the final goodbye. Like we say in Gujaratis, this is the final goodbye, the third goodbye or the fifth goodbye. We will see you next time at the same place at another date and time. Have a good week ahead and a lovely month ahead. And we will see you in December. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Neerav. Thank you, Dushan Bhai. Thank you, Swati. And thank you, Sagar. And thank you, Jyoti, of course.
Thank you so much. Lovely pleasure being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. See you all. Swati, band kari dejo na, please.
Okay.